Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Life After Mental Illness. My name's Bill MacPhee and I'm your recovery expert. Recovery, the definition is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. That's what recovery is. Now, today I told you that we would talk about motivation. And to tell you the truth, the bottom line is that there is no such thing as motivation. However, there are such things as habits, that you learn habits that kind of create motivation, if there is such a thing as motivation. The dictionary actually describes motivation as acting or behaving in a certain way. The reasons why. So it's the reason, singular, or the reasons, plural, why we act or behave in a certain way. Now, we just got through. We're dealing with this. We're dealing with the subject of negative symptoms or deficit symptoms in this series, and we said that negative symptoms or deficit symptoms cause a lack of motivation, a lack of joy, an emotional bluntness, a blandness, a lack of drive, depression could set in. These things here. So that's what we got to deal with. You can't get around it. That's the cards you've been dealt, and we have to work with what we have. It is what it is, right? It is, no matter where we are today, it is what it is. Now, how do we move forward? Okay, so I want to give you an example of such in my life of such a lack of motivation that happened to me at one time. Early in my illness, when I was basically dealing with the negative and the deficit symptoms, I was on the couch, just laying there all the time on the couch. And I can remember, living in Canada, living in the Niagara region here in Ontario, Canada, is that we would get snow in the wintertime. And sometimes we get a lot of snow, like, 2-3 feet. And by the end of the season, after you shovel the driveway, the sides of the driveway, there's mountains of snow. So anyways, it was a snowy day or whatever, and the driveway needed to be shoveled. Here I am on the couch, basically just doing nothing, and it's snowing. The driveway needs to be shoveled. My dad has to get out of the driveway and everything like that. You know what? My poor old mom. My mom was out there shoveling by herself, and I'm here on the couch. And you think, well, wouldn't that be enough motivation to try to just go and help your mom shovel the driveway? I mean, she's a woman here. You look at me. I'm a man. I'm strong. I'm big. You surely, Bill, you can go out there and shovel. My brother, for some reason, was there, and he looks at me. And my brother was a football star in high school. He was very athletic, very built. He had a career as a police officer in Toronto for many years, and then over in Barrie. So anyways, my brother, lifted weights, go to the gym and everything, all that motivation that way, right? And he's seeing me on the couch, a young man who looks physically normal. Why isn't he out there helping his mother shovel the snow? You know what? I couldn't get off the house at that time. And why couldn't I get off the couch? Because I had no hope for the future. In my thinking, I thought my future wasn't going to get better. Now, I was paralyzed or stuck. Paralyzed or stuck in that situation. And I used to say, I was on the couch for 5 years, and I used to think, if things don't change, they're going to stay the same. And I envisioned myself on the couch not for 5 years, but maybe 7, maybe 10, and it goes on, because there are people, we see that all the time. Now, so I wanted to tell you that if you're starting out dealing with negative symptoms, or you've been having negative symptoms for a long time, it's very important that our reason or our reasons to do something, to act or behave in a certain way, has to be us believing that there's a brighter future out there. We might not know where, we might not know, when, might not know what, but you must believe that there's a brighter future out there somewhere for you. Now, okay, so now that we have that, you say, well, you know what? Even if you don't believe it yourself, say, you know what? I'm not really too sure. I don't believe there's a brighter future for me. Then you know what? If you don't believe it, I'm believing it for you. I believe that there's a brighter future for you. So if you don't believe, say, well, you know what? Bill MacPhee believes there's a brighter future for me. Bill MacPhee believes that there's a brighter future for me. Okay, because remember, just because we have lack of self-esteem and confidence, that isn't really who we are. That's something that we deal with, but it's not who you are. We can't get stuck in that self-esteem, lack of self-esteem and confidence. So okay, so we've got to believe that there's a brighter future. Where do you start? Well, where you start is you need to look at your community calendar. You need to get on board with information coming up about things that are happening in your community, whether it's things at your church, whether it's things in the local market, whether there's seminars, whether there's speakers, whatever. Your job is to find out what's happening in your community and listing and writing it down on your calendar. I'm not saying you have to go. I'm not saying you're going to go. I'm just telling you that you write down events on your calendar. You put them on there. Okay. Now, again, we have to believe that the decisions, the choices that we make today will impact our future. We don't know what the future holds, but we have to believe that what we do today is going to help us in the future. It's going to pay off results or dividends, if you might want to use that term. Okay, so, okay, now, again, we list our calendar, we put at events. Now, I know that this seems very, very difficult, and you may not even say that it's possible, but I'm telling you, it's going to come easier and easier. What we need to do, now that we know that we have a brighter future in the future, we need to focus on overriding our negative symptoms, overriding that lack of energy, overriding that lack of joy, overriding that emotional blandness, that bluntness. We need to override these conditions we have. And if you want me to kind of say, how do you override or whatever, it may be just totally brute force, brute stubbornness, or a way of saying, I'm going to override it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. You know, Nike had a great slogan. They have the check mark, everybody knows Nike. They say, just do it. Well, you know what? I can add to that. You know how I can add to that? Just do it now. Just do it now. Okay, so I'm going to give you a practical example in a second. But first of all, we have to realize that our life consists of choices. Our life consists of choices. We have choices almost every minute of our life. Anyways, we definitely have daily choices. And it's very important to realize that if I'm going to have a brighter future, and I believe it, and I know Bill MacPhee believes that I can have a better future, is that what you need to do is that you need to start trying to make the right choices. The more right choices we make in life, the better our life is going to be. Doesn't that make sense? The more right choices we make in life, the better our life is going to be. Now don't so our life is made up of choices. Now, we can be very smart people and make bad choices. But the trick is to try to make wise choices. That's the trick right there. If you figure out how to make wise choices, it's very important. So anyways, for an example, something that happened today. So usually, I don't dress up a lot. If I'm speaking somewhere, I'll dress up, or if I'm doing something, I'm doing one-on-one coaching or something, I'll dress up. But basically, I don't. But today I thought, I had to run to the bank. I had to get some milk. I went to visit my parents in the nursing home. So what I did is I put on a suit earlier on, and I went and did my errands. And you know what? Literally, I can count probably 5 times people commented on how I look or that I'm dressed up today. I went to the bank, and Don said, "Oh, Bill, you're dressed up today," and somebody I had to go to another place, and somebody held the door and called me sir. A lot of people don't call me sir when they see me out town not dressed up, right? So, but this person said, "Sir." I was at the nursing home. Several people say, "Oh, you look nice. You look nice." So what does that tell me? What does that tell me? That tells me that in the future, if I want to be have commented things and nice things to say about me, well, then maybe I'll get dressed up more often. Maybe I will take the effort to shower and closely shave and to look nice and to smell nice and everything like that. And with those in the future, I think I might get more compliments, and we all feel good when we get compliments, right? So there's a reason. So there's a reason for me to override the feeling that I don't want to take a shower, or override the feeling that I don't want to, put my dress pants on or my dress shoes on and all that. You have to override it, but there's dividends. Okay, I think I got my point across. So again, just to wrap up, there's no such thing as motivation, but what we do is we have reasons why we behave or act in a certain way. And we have to act in a certain way by believing that we have a better future, a brighter future, and that we need to override our negative symptoms to go through the motions and make those right choices that are going to pay off in the long run. Okay, enough said. And we're going to continue with other vlogs starting on dealing with the motivation or dealing with our negative or deficit symptoms. And in our next vlog, we'll either talk about that lack of joy or emotional blandness or the lack of energy in detail, how we can get more energy, lack of motivation, and different things like that. So we'll go over that in more detail. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great day. Again, thank you for tuning in. And remember, there is life after mental illness. And recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anyone else other than who you are today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye. Hi. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter.